feel. What have you found to be the hardest stage in a breakup for you personally? Or like what's the stage that you find the most challenging?
I feel like they're all really hard, but I feel like the one I think that I called this one the desperate stage. And I just made a video about it because I have this song called Motel Whore.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, this one represents the desperate stage of a breakup. And it's kind of like that bargaining stage where you just try and do whatever you can to get that person back in your life, no matter what costs, and like however you can. So yeah, it's when like you break up with them and then you're at the point where it's like you just want them in your life, that you're willing to do whatever it is to keep them in your life somehow, even though it hurts you, because you know the way that you want them in your life is the way that you had them before in that relationship. But now it's like it's not that, and so you kind of end up hurting yourself more because you're, putting yourself back in that place, but also knowing that like you're going to end up leaving heartbroken again, because it's a lot harder when, you try and be with that person, whether it's like friends or just like hooking up or any of that stuff, when there's like actual real love and connection on your part still. But it's like, and you try to convince yourself like, oh, like this is going to get them back. Like our relationship's going to be like, how it was before, but it doesn't happen. And then it crushes you even more. I feel like that's the hardest stage, when you just become very desperate for any ounce of attention that you can get from that person. Because it ends up breaking your heart even more. You could skip that stage and fully like lead on the path of healing the way that you should, but I feel like that's like the one stage where we kind of like trip up the stairs and we're like, oh God, yeah, we made it harder for ourselves.
Yeah, that's well said. I couldn't agree more. That really resonates, because I think we're living in that dream of like what it could have been and what it should be, and like they must love me and I'm going to get it back and I'm going to win them over. And I mean, we waste so much time in that. What do you think is like the longest stage? What stage do you think you spend the most time in when you break up with someone, where you just like so much energy gets sucked out in being lost at a stage?
Trying to recover from the codependency part. Because I mean, when you're in a relationship, I know I get so codependent on someone, that's the person that you have always, there's something that you go through, like you have that one person that you can talk to, cry to, they're always there for you. They become your comfort, that's your safe place. And then when the relationship's over, it's like you don't have that, you're left on your own. I feel like that was the longest stage for me to get over, because I was so used to being so codependent on someone and, having that comfort when it's all gone. Every time that I dealt with something that was hard for me, every time that I got upset, every time I felt alone, I couldn't help but want and like crave that person, because I was used to having them during those times. And trying to escape from the codependency and learning how to love yourself and enjoy your own company, and even just like coming to terms with the fact that like you can be that person for yourself, and that you don't need anyone. I feel like that's the longest process, 100%.
You're so right.